sensation, a feeling, regard to a person or thing, especially of the mind. It's a position of posture of the body. How I move around. How do I conduct myself? What is the demeanor of how I look? It's interesting that when you have a great attitude, it shows all over your face. When you have a negative attitude, you could definitely see the difference in someone's face. Would you agree? Yes. Now, let me say this. In life, attitude is everything. Remember, your attitude determines your altitude. If you got a negative attitude, you're down here. And when you're down there, you can't see what's around you because you just have a negative outlook on life. But today, especially the times we live in, the economic times, and so many things happening in wars, and just pick up the paper. That'll give you a negative attitude, just the first few pages. But you have to look at every day as a brand new gift, as an attitude, have an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful that you're alive. Be grateful that you're not in a hospital bed. That'll bring up your altitude. Let me say this to you. When you're around negative people, then you become negative. So it's important that you surround yourself with people that have positive attitudes. This is one of the great benefits of being in a Toastmasters Club. You're around people with vibrant attitudes, tremendous attitudes. I remember when I first started in Toastmasters, one of the things that struck me was the attitude of positivity that emanated from everyone in that room. They had such a positive outlook on life, and it had to do with their attitude. Check the people around you. Observe their attitude. And if you know where I sit on the 22nd floor, when you're up there, you notice I have a board by my desk, and I have a little sign that says, "You're entering the no negativity zone." Why do I say that? Because, as you know, those who haven't been in Thomson Reuters, we've experienced layoffs in the last couple of years. And it's interesting when you hear about that layoffs are coming, people will say, "Oh no, what's going to happen?" Listen, you're entering the no negativity zone. The ship will still go. We will not sink. Some people act like they're on the Titanic and we're going to sink all the time. But let me say this. When you have a positive attitude, it just emanates from you. People pick that up. They want to be around you because of your attitude of gratitude, where you're thinking positively. You're thinking about helping the situation rather than harming the situation, because between every dark tunnel, there's always light ahead. There's always light that happens. You have to have a positive attitude. I could think of this. When you have real-world examples, every day you're confronted with choices that you have to make on how you handle your attitude. If someone gets angry at you, how do you handle that in your heart? Are you going to let bitterness remain in you, or are you going to walk through it and ask for forgiveness if it's your fault? That'll change your attitude, because bitterness will break you down, and it'll leave you with a negative attitude every day. But let me say this. Your attitude of positivity will bring you up to a level of amazing joy, because joy comes from a positive attitude every day. When you go to a Toastmasters meeting, what's the beauty of being around people with positive attitudes? You walk out of here with a step in your heart because of the positive attitude around you. I first would say to you, from my own experience, it's an attitude of gratefulness to God. I bring my own spiritual life into it because I look at where I've come from. I've been through, I talked about it before my previous speeches, about being through depression, where I was in a dark tunnel for many, many days, many months. I didn't know where I was going to go. When you talk about being negative, I was negative every day. I didn't want to wake up in the morning. I started throwing away all of my credit cards, but I had people that spoke into my life that give me positive thoughts. And then one day I woke up and I said, I'm going to have a positive attitude. I'm going to believe in God and myself, and believe that I have hope. that hope for me was in Christ. But it's just taking each day as a gift from God, unwrapping it, and believing for the best in not only myself but in others. So let me say this to you, that don't ever think that you can't change your attitude. It's a decision you have to make. I remember when Thomson Reuters first came into existence, before the merger was announced in 2008. And everybody was wondering, what's going to happen? And you had most of the people would say, well, I don't know. You heard when mergers take place, you're going to have layoffs happen. Well, I sent an email to Devin Wenning, who was the chief CEO of Thomson Reuters Markets, and I sat down with him, and I had a 30-minute information interview with him, because my decision was to be positive and to have an attitude of gratitude. And what came out of that was, I said, let's go, let's move. This is going to be a good thing. So I look at each day as a positive attitude will change and transform your life. Let me read this to you. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. It's more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances. It will make or break a home, it will make or break a company. You have a choice to change the course of each one of you in this room, could be a deal maker, a catalyst of change for other people. But choose to have a positive attitude on life. Thank you.